On this episode of Delivering Marketing Joy, I talk to, well, me. And I give you 3 tips on how to get more done. Well, hey there, and welcome to another edition of Delivering Marketing Joy. I'm your host, Kirby Hasseman. We're going to do this a little differently. This is a special DMJ episode, sort of a combination of the podcast and the web show. So I wanted to let you know we're taking a little bit of a hiatus from interviewing, which is what we normally do, just for 1 week so that we can build back up and get going again. And in that vein, if you know somebody that you think I should be interviewing, or if you are somebody who'd like to be on the show, I'd love for you to reach out to me. But I wanted to touch on 3 really quick topics today to hopefully provide you a little bit of value. Number 1 is really about creativity. I'm reading a book right now, and it talks about originality and creativity. And what we come to find out is that creative people, and I've heard Bobby Lehue talk about this in the past, people think you're supposed to be just creative on the spot. What you find is the most creative people, the most people who are willing to put work out there, do a lot of work in order to create really good work. So in other words, they're willing to put themselves out there and create work that isn't as top-notch. Not that they're trying to create bad work, but they're creating a lot of work so that they can create some really, really good work. You can't just create one thing and expect it to be awesome. It's a little bit like that photographer who takes 200 pictures and hopes to get 2, right? So if you want to be creative, it's not about being magically creative on the spot. It's about creating a lot of work. And you stumble upon something, you iterate, you make something better, and that's where you come up with really, truly creative work. The next tip I want to give you today is to milk the most out of the day. I get a lot of questions about how I get as much done as I do, and some of you know I was under the weather last week, and it really threw me off my game a little bit. But one of the things I was thinking about, and I always try to think tactically, is I think that one of the things I do is I milk the most out of the day. Right now I have a window of about 25 minutes in between one appointment and another, and rather than search Facebook or, go and dawdle or take a break, I am trying to cram this in so I can create a piece of content in that window to provide you some value. So when in doubt, man, you only need 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 minutes. In other words, if you do short bursts of activity and creativity and just are proactive in trying to take action on things. So by milking the most out of your day, you can get some more things done. And the final thing is really the lesson of today, right? It's about consistency. We do Delivering Marketing Joy every Wednesday. And if I don't do a Delivering Marketing Joy, I think people probably would notice. I hope they would. And so, one of the things that I'm doing here is, look, I want to re-queue and get a few more shows lined up so that we can move forward and go into, we're in the 130s, so we can get into the 150s and the 200s. But the way you do that is by doing it every week. You don't miss an episode, and you be consistent. And kind of a shout out to Bill Petrie, who kind of helps keep me on my game when I'm thinking of taking a week off. So that consistency, it goes back to that first point, right? You have to create a lot of content for you to create a really one awesome piece of content. And that is done by consistency. So my 3 tips or my 3 thoughts for you today on the Delivering Marketing Joy web show podcast hybrid is, if you want to be creative, you need to put a lot of things out there, not just one thing and hope it's awesome. Number 2, you want to milk the most out of your day. Every little piece of productivity, jam something in there so you can get something done. And finally, if you want to create content, if you want to build a sales career, and if you want to build a business, you have to be consistent. You can't just be like one big month of activity and then give up. It's got to be every day, every week, every month. And so those are my thoughts for the day. I hope you got something out of them. And again, as we get back into it, I do need guests. So please, if we're doing it every week, I need more and more fresh faces. And so if you know of somebody, or if you know that you would like to be a guest, I would love for you to reach out to me in all the channels that are out there, in the Facebook and the Twitter, and all of, of course, email and all that. So really appreciate you taking the time, and I appreciate you listening and being a fan of Delivering Marketing Joy. We'll talk to you next time.